we recorded the one on Tuesday as well. We'll record this one. That way we got multiples just in case we screw it up one way or the other. We got multiple ones here. All right, good stuff. So I'm glad everybody's on here and going to learn about some of the great things we have going on. I see Nate. Nate, I don't know if Bobby and Sarah are going to be on as well, if it's just going to be you today. But let me just kind of set the tone here before I hand it over to Nate. So we announced a couple weeks ago our partner with a partnership that we put together with Zillow and regarding their Zillow Showcase tool. So they're going to go over the pricing. They're going to go over all those wonderful things. But I want you to kind of just, before Nate gets started, I want you to kind of think about this from a different perspective. So first of all, I want to get one thing out of the way because I know anytime in real estate, when it's like, we talk about Zillow, agents start getting all up in arms. Well, what about this, 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 and this? All right, let's get one thing out of the way. You lost. Okay. We lost. They won. Accept it for what it is. They have amazing tools and just get past it and accept that, hey, they have some really phenomenal things that can help us. Okay. So number one, get past that for those of you that are in that mode right now. Number two is this. I want you to kind of look at this from this lens. Okay. And Nate's going to go over this as well. But I want you to look at this from a lens of generating additional listings first. Okay. There's other great tools that Nate's going to go over with Zillow Showcase. But what I think from our perspective is when you can put this in your listing presentation, and our marketing team already put together a flyer, right? And we can customize that, but I already put together a flyer that you can put in your listing presentation as a way to get more listings. Because now imagine going on a listing presentation and you've got your plan of action, you've got all this, but then you say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm also going to put my money in it. I'm going to put some skin in the game. I'm going to put it on Zillow Showcase, which is going to get your listing this, 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 and this, which Nate is going to go over. I think it's going to help us generate a few extra listings. Okay. So all the other stuff is great, but I just think looking at it from that lens is going to be a real big win for us in terms of that perspective. So I want you to first look at it from that perspective before anything else. But we're really excited about this. And then just one other thing I want to let you know from a company standpoint, then I'll turn it over, just so you know how invested are we. We think how great this program is we negotiated this discount. We also negotiated a discount with some photography stuff, which Nate will go over. But we put ourselves on the line that we were going to use 1,000 listings in the next year on Zillow Showcase. Now, that's not saying that we're pushing it on you to use it. We just think it's that great of a tool that agents are going to jump on it at that price. And we've agreed that if we don't use the 1,000, that we will pay the difference. Okay. But we think it's that great of a tool that we were willing to put our own money on the line to say, hey, don't worry. If we don't get to 1,000, we'll pay the difference because we think that it's that beneficial for our agents and our company. So just so you know that we are putting a financial investment in this as well. So anyways, without further ado, I just want to give that intro and make sure last thing that you are super nice to this team of Zillow, not only because they're very nice people, but this is probably the 8th or 9th Zoom they've had with me. And so they are exhausted. Okay. So they have gone through a lot dealing with me. And so make sure you're nice to them because, we want them to stick around and not have to go to therapy any much more than they already have to. So without further ado, Nate, buddy, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Robert. I really appreciate it. And it's always been a pleasure to work with you so far. So we've enjoyed it. And just to kind of hammer home on his point about Zillow, our real main goal at this point is to enable agents and enable buyers to have a more positive experience. I know there's been things in the past. I was an agent for a while as well, but really what we've taken a hard stance on and focus is just creating a better experience for you guys to help you guys do your jobs more efficiently and be more capable in doing your jobs too. And that's really what Showcase is about, is to help enhance that experience and enhance the value that you can give to your sellers and your buyers. Um, so we'll jump right into Showcase and what Showcase is. I'll share my screen here really quick.
One thing while Nate's presenting, you can feel free to ask questions in the chat box. I'll answer as many of them as I can. And then at the end of the presentation, Nate can go back and answer any questions that weren't answered or anything along those lines. But for the purposes of it, let's just let him go through the presentation. And then, but again, you could put questions in the chat box. I'll answer as many as I can.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I used to always say when I was given a operational order in the Marine Corps, hold all questions till the end, but feel free to throw them into the chat, and then we'll have a Q&A at the very end as well. And tomorrow we will do a full Q&A for any questions that you don't get answered today or any pop up along for you along the rest of the day. So I like to start here with what we all know to be a pretty traditional listing on Zillow, and this is one of you guys is that I pulled in Temecula. As you can see, it looks great, but it's your standard experience with a listing that the consumer has online. They scroll through, see all the information. Your agent information is kind of buried down here, and they can just kind of come through, see how it all looks, work through the listing, and then get with their buyer agent or a Zillow Premier agent by connecting contact agent and get out and see the listing. So I won't spend too much time on this because we're all very familiar with that. But I will jump over to to what the showcase experience is. And as you can see right off the bat, we have our what we call our carousel, and it's immediately encapsulating, it's enrapturing, it brings the consumer right into the listing where they are already excited about it. And the carousel really is a way for you to be able to take features of that specific listing and show to them what you want to highlight about the home. Another thing is that we've recently, and I think you guys maybe got to see it here, is we've recently added video into this carousel as well. So you can create a 90-second video that kind of runs through the house and takes them through it. You can speak on it as well and be able to kind of walk them through that virtual tour too. So it's really great. But as you can see, it's already got a totally different feel as far as the listing is concerned as the buyer clicks into it. And a lot of what we do on Showcase here is specific to helping drive that user engagement, keep them on the listing, keep them exploring it to really be able to get a feel for it and determine if it's the right home for them and that they want to come out and see it. So as we scroll down, I wanted to highlight here specifically, your agent and your branding is prominently featured the entire time as they scroll through the listing. Now, as Robert said, this isn't a lead gen tool, but I really like to refer to this as the digital yard sign. We all put yard signs out on our listings when we go out there. And this is a really great way for you to have that now in the digital space, since the majority of consumers aren't driving around looking for homes. They're looking online, and specifically they're looking on Zillow. So it's a really great way for your branding to be prominently featured for them. And if they do happen to drive by and want to contact you, you have this great button here where they'll click contact, put in their information, and it will come directly to you. If they hit the request a tour, this will still go to the Zillow Premier agents that pay for the leads. But if they do click on this, that lead comes directly to you as they're driving by your digital yard sign here in your home, and you own that lead in perpetuity as well. So some of the really cool key features about Zillow Showcase, one is the interactive floor plan. So as the buyer is interacting with the listing on Zillow, they can jump into the floor plan here, and here you'll have your static photos that they can come to and kind of look at them and know exactly what room they're in and what they're looking at. But one of the really cool things about this floor plan too is when they click on the blue button, it takes them directly into the 3D home tour. And this really allows them to see the space for what it is, get a full feel as they drag around and interact with it. And they can see over here in the right on the floor plan here where they're looking, how they're looking at it, and where the photographer was standing when they took the photo. And this really allows them to put themselves in the listing before ever stepping inside of the home. Which is a really great feature for them to kind of bounce around and get a feel for it. So that's two of the really great features of it. And then another one that we have on here is the featured room feature. So as they come through and scroll through the listing, and this is something that you can edit and customize, is you have the different rooms and they're categorized by room. So instead of having to click around in the photos like they usually had to, they can now come to the specific room and see the photos that are allocated to that. And you can edit that and be able to put the different photos in that space. You can arrange what room you want to come first. You can really customize the experience for the buyer. And so that's really, really great there. Another thing is that we do offer the virtual staging piece as well. And it's another, like I said, another great way for the consumer to put themselves in that space. So you can see the photo as it was taken. But then if they have a different aesthetic that they want to try out with the listing to see how they would maybe do it, the virtual staging that we have with the AI compatibility there really helps them do that, and they can see the home without any staging at all. So it's a really, really amazing way for the consumer to interact with the listing, get a feel for the listing, and understand what it is that they're looking at before they ever have to step into the home. So as we come through, you can just see that the entire feel of the showcase listing is completely different than how they've interacted with the listings before. Now, why is this important? One, because it drives higher consumer engagement, and two, because it's a really great thing for you to be able to present in your listing presentations to your sellers. This is a high value add. It's the equivalent of leaving an iPad instead of a box of donuts, is what I would like to say, because it shows them a lot of value, and it'll allow you to present more value than the other agents that might be coming in and pitching them on their listing presentations as well. So we have the the floor plan, the 3D home tour. And one thing that's specifically offered with Zillow Media Experts is the Sky Tour, and it's basically Google Maps or Google Earth inside of the Zillow listing. So I really like it. It allows them to interact with the neighborhood, see what the home looks like from the outside, and get a feel for how the home fits into the neighborhood, where it's at, and see some of those features as well. So it saves you guys time when you have to answer a lot of questions from buyers about the property too, because they already get a really good feel for it. So that's kind of my quick down and dirty about Zillow Showcase itself, how the listing works and how the consumer interacts with the listing. Some things that I want to say specifically about it too is that as agents, when you go in and you get a listing live, your sellers are very excited to have that listing on the market. And they're excited for about 2 weeks before they're tired of getting displaced from their homes to do showing after showing after showing for looky-loos and people that just want to see it for 5 minutes and walk out. We all know that, and we all understand the seller fatigue that they go through. The great thing about Showcase is that it creates a better buyer as well, because the buyer really understands the home before they ever step inside of it. So you can know that the person that's coming to see that home really wants to see that home because they really liked what they saw online and were already able to put themselves into it. So you can tell your sellers as they're actually having to get displaced to let people come in and walk through their home, that the consumer and the buyer that's coming to see it, they have a really good feel for that home. They are actually coming to see the home because they're very interested in it. Some other features of Showcase that you have when you showcase your listing is, as the buyers are searching around on Zillow's website itself, you have this sparkle feature that lets the showcase listing stand out around all the other listings that are on the interactive map that the buyer works with. So that's just another way that immediately is attention grab and brings their attention to your listing specifically. So very high value add and just driving engagement with the listing right off the bat. Also, when they search for homes in the criteria of your listing, that listing comes up prominently first in the search criteria as well. I believe for at least the first 10 days, that is the first listing that they will see are the showcase listings in the criteria of what they have. So all of these things just really great to get eyeballs on your listing, drive engagement, and help the home sell faster. So some of the benefits that we have here, Zillow is very data based. We really like to drive all of our engagement with data. And so we have collected this. On average, you have 75% more page views of your listing, 75% more saves. And I really like this one, 75% more shares. And the shares is great because as it's being shared, those are people that are serious about that listing. So it's obviously driving more engagement with the listing, and then people are more excited about it and sharing it to either their spouse or their friends about a home that they're going to check out and see. One thing that's a really, really great benefit for you guys and for your sellers is when a buyer is on Zillow and they search for a specific criteria of home in the location, your listing that's showcased inside of that location automatically, you guys don't have to do this. Zillow automatically sends an email with your branding and your listing to that buyer that is looking for that specific home criteria in that area. So it's an amazing way for you guys to get in front of more buyers with your branding, an amazing way to get your home prominently featured and in front of all of those buyers as well that are looking for homes like yours in that area. And this slide is really just to describe that 10% of all listings in the market are showcase listings, and Century 21 Masters has they've done you guys a very big favor and a big service by being a part of this 10% of the market. So Zillow caps the ability to showcase listings at 10% of market. But once you're in, you're in. And so once the market's tapped out, you can't get into it and be able to showcase listings. So it's exclusive in that way. And Masters has done a really good job by contracting and getting you guys in the door to be able to capitalize on that 10% so that you guys can showcase listings. These are some more quick stats that we have about Showcase that I love. Agents who use Showcase on the majority of their listings, you're winning 30% of those listing presentations than people that are not showcasing their listings or presenting that in their listing presentations. And it's just because of the value adds. The stuff that I just showed you right there on what the Showcase listing is speaks very heavily to sellers. They see how differently their home is featured online and on Zillow, and they really, really like to see that. So you guys have a tendency to win 30% more listings than agents who are not using Showcase. So as you can see, it's already a very powerful tool with that. Another great benefit to the sellers and to you guys is that you're 10% more likely to go pending in 14 days than similar nearby non-showcase listings on Zillow. And then this one I really like. We all understand what this number means to us. And it's a really great way for you to demonstrate your value as an agent outside of everything else you're already doing for them. Anything that moves the net sheet for a seller obviously is going to speak to them and excite them. And this is a really great way. You have data-based proof to be able to show that on average, the showcase listings sell for 2% more than non-showcase listings. All right. Let me look at the chat really quick. Do we have any major questions,
The
right?
only one I wasn't 100% sure of, Nate, was, is there a certain way you have to video the home if you're doing the walkthrough?
As far as the
Like when you're doing the
showcase
video
showcase video for the
walkthrough,
carousel.
yeah, like do you have to go, like you have to do it a certain way, or like does it have to be structured a certain way, or is it just, hey, we're going to do a video walkthrough of the house?
So you can there is this is a relatively new feature, so I'm not 100% spun up on all of it, but my understanding is, you know how you'll make like a social media video highlighting a home and you throw it on Instagram or your social media platforms. You can create those videos and then put that video onto the carousel in the same way. You can't have your branding, and I have I sent you the information
Yeah.
yesterday, I believe, that has what you can and can't do specific to that video. But there's not a specific way that you have to shoot that video. You can shoot it how you want to. There are guidelines of what you can and cannot have on there, and it does need to be focused on the home as you walk through it. But you can have your narrative running through as you walk through the home. But I would probably recommend using it as a highlight reel for the home, as you guys would to really drive excitement on social media. Just using a highlight reel kind of like that, rather than doing a full agent walkthrough, because you'll have to speed that up. You only have, I think, about 90 seconds to do that.
There you go. Everything else I've answered so far.
Okay, great. So now that we know what Showcase is, its benefits to you and its benefits to the seller and the buyer, how do you guys get started? Well, I think a couple of days ago, I invited all of you guys with a link that you would have gotten in your email. That link expires after 24 hours. So if you find it now and you're trying to click into it, it's not going to work. You'll go to ZillowShowcase.com. You'll click New to Zillow Workspace, sign up. You'll enter the email address that you have on file with the brokerage. And this is very important. We all have a ton of different email addresses that forward to our one main email address that we use. The email that was on the roster that you guys have that your brokerage is working off of is your login email. So if you don't know what that is, then you need to talk to the brokerage, make sure that you guys are aligned on that, because otherwise it won't work. You need to make sure you have that correct email. So you're going to enter that email address in there. You're going to create a password, add your phone number, and then you'll get sent a code. Once you get sent the verification code, then you might have to click resend for it to come through. It might take a couple of minutes for it to come through. But once you get that code, you'll enter it, and you should see this screen here asking you to accept the workspace, and then you're going to click accept, and it's going to bring you into the workspace. And you're going to hear me say the word workspace a lot. This is your Zillow workspace. That's the behind the scenes, how you interact with Showcase. And that's the place that you're going to be working from, adding your listings and doing all of your editing from. That's called the workspace. So as soon as you click accept and get taken into the workspace, the first thing that it's going to bring you to is your agent profile. Now, this is important for you guys to take a couple of minutes and actually put in the information that you want to have in here. It's not the same as your Zillow profile. This is specifically your Showcase profile. So you have to create this, and you want to make sure that you put in your bio, your name, and the contact information that you want them to reach out to you on, because this is what is going to be your prominently featured branding, your agent profile on that Showcase listing that everybody's going to be seeing. So take a couple of minutes and actually either just copy and paste your profile if you already have your bio from somewhere else, but make sure that you get this set up, add your profile picture so they can see who you are. And then from there, then we'll move into the rest of it. But just make sure that you understand this is your Showcase specific profile. Even if you have a Zillow profile, you need to come in and create this Showcase specific profile so that the people and the buyers that are looking at that listing are seeing what you want them to see. So after you've created your Zillow profile, then you'll go over to, you can't see it on the screen here, but your name will be here inside of the workspace. You'll click your name there, and then you'll click My Account. My Account will bring you to this here. And this is everything from here is not going to be externally facing, but you need to connect your MLS profile so that all the data syndicates from that. And so you'll be prompted with a couple of questions there after you click on the Add Your MLS Profile button. And then you'll need to connect your Zillow agent profile. Now, this is your Zillow profile that you currently have, and it's not going to show anything other than your reviews, but this is what allows Zillow Showcase to pull over the reviews that you already have on your Zillow profile to then syndicate with the Zillow Showcase profile as well. So if you have reviews that you have on your Zillow profile, you want to make sure that those are on there so that people can look at all the great and glamorous reviews that people have left you. You'll want to make sure that you come in and click on Connect Your Experiences, then connect your Zillow agent profile to be able to pull those reviews across. Some best practices for it: don't be a floating avatar. Make sure that you upload a profile picture. I see too many times with too many agents that just have a blank screen there. And so people don't know what you're looking at, and it doesn't look very professional. Take the time, upload your profile pic, upload your bio, pull your Zillow reviews over, and then make sure that you add your preferred contact information and your social media links there if you want to as well. How we doing? Good to go so far? All right. So that's how you get into the workspace and set up your profile. I've given all this information to Dylan and Robert as well, so it will be living on your Century 21 page, I believe. And so great question, Mike. And that's where you'll go to the ZillowShowcase.com and follow the steps here. You'll go to ZillowShowcase.com, and then you'll follow these steps in order to get connected into your workspace. So once you've connected and gotten into your workspace here, the next thing we want to do is talk about how you're actually going to add a listing and get it showcased. So this is what the workspace will look like when you have when you have listings and such in there. Right now for you guys, it'll be blank. You'll come in here, you'll click Add Listing. You'll be presented with this screen here, and then you'll be able to add the listing information, the address, and your listing agent, and the group that you're part of. If you have a listing coordinator that's doing this for you, then they will select listing agent as you for this. One quick note with that is after you've added that, then you can come over here and click Add People so that they have access as well. So you could add a listing coordinator to be able to help edit and work on that showcase listing, or anyone else in the admin that you might want working, or if you have a second agent on it, you would add them to it as well. Only the primary agent will be the agent shown on showcase, the outward facing profile. But if you have other people that you want to help with them, then you just add their information and invite them to come and work on this specific listing as well.
Can I
Now,
ask,
once
is that okay if I ask a question? No? Yes?
I'll allow it.
Oh, sorry. Really quickly, do you have a tutorial if I join this, like to show exactly how to work this? Is there a tutorial video?
Yes, there are a lot of resources for agents on the Zillow Showcase site itself, in the agents in the My Agent space there. And working with Dylan, she's going to have a lot of those tutorials on you guys' Century 21 Masters page to be able to get to and be able to work through a lot of those.
All right, thank you. That's all.
Yeah, no problem. So once you're ready, once you have the listing added and you're ready to showcase your listing, you're going to click Order Showcase in Media. From there, you're going to be presented with this screen here, and this is where you're going to add in your payment information and then submit your payment, and then from there you'll be able to showcase your listing. One of the things I didn't talk about earlier that I'll go ahead and talk, well, actually I have a couple of slides that will cover the pricing on it as well, but so I'll save that for there. So you'll add your payment information and click Submit Payment, and then it'll take you to requesting your media. Now, before we get to that step there, I want to talk a little bit about media and what the media requirements are in order to showcase a listing, because there are very specific requirements that you must have in place in order for your listing to showcase. This is generally where we get the most questions and where the showcase process bottlenecks a little bit. So understanding these requirements and getting ahead of that will help your showcase experience be as seamless as possible. So at minimum, with the Essentials package, you must have 10 photos of 3 interior rooms with 1 photo for each room. You must have the Zillow 3D Home Tour, and that's specific to Zillow 3D Home Tour. You might have interacted with other 3D tours in the past. This one has to be Zillow specific 3D Home Tour, captured with specific types of cameras. And you'll work with your photographer to make sure that they have the correct equipment in order to do so. When I was an agent, this is one of the cameras that would work. It's an Insta360, and it's not a very heavy lift for the photographer in order to go out and get it. And that's the kind of camera that they would need in order to walk through the home and do a 3D tour. It's very simple for them. They don't have to go step by step and take photos and piece it all together. They can just walk through and record it all, and so it ends up being an easier process for the photographer as well. And then you have to have the Zillow 3D Home Tour's interactive floor plan, which does get automatically created with the 3D Home Tour. So in order to capture this media, we do have a couple of different options here, all right? And we're going to talk through all of them. If you have a preferred photographer, or a photographer you've worked with it for a very long time and you really like their work and you want to stay with them, that's completely fine. What you'll do is when you click on Schedule Your Photography, you will click on I have my own photographer, and I'll show you this in a little bit. And then you'll enter in their email address and their information, and they will get sent an invite link, and from there they'll be able to set up their account. And their account is on Aereo, which is a photography platform that most of them should be familiar with already. They'll get an invite link to the listing, and once they have their profile set up, that's where they will upload the media to be able to be showcased through. So all of this information, these are some links, and this information on what the photographers need and what you'll need to be able to tell them, I've sent to Dylan. We have a lot of resources to be able to give to those photographers to help them get successfully set up to be able to capture the media and upload it successfully. And so I would say best practice, if you have a photographer that you want to use and you're planning on showcasing listings, is to be preemptive about it and already have that conversation with helping get them set up with Aereo and on Zillow Showcase, make sure they have the right equipment. All these links here Dylan has to be able to send to them so that they understand what is necessary for them to do, and any questions they might have, they can get answered on that as well. So this is a little bit of what I was talking about they'll get sent the link and it'll tell them to sign up for Aerial Light's a free account, won't cost them anything. They just need to get their profile set up for it. If they don't have the proper equipment, we do have some discount codes that we can offer them in order to go out and purchase that equipment to be able to help showcase your listing. And there's also a photographer specific support line if they do have any issues or questions that Zillow has. We have a photographer specific support line that they'll be able to reach out to and mitigate any of those issues or questions that they're having. We do offer in the California region what we call Zillow Media Experts, and these are W-2 Zillow employed photographers that, and this is basically the easy button. They're already trained up. They work with Zillow. They already have all their profiles set up, and you can order and schedule with them directly from the Showcase website. This is the price that they have here for the essentials package to go out and capture the minimum of everything that you need in order to showcase it. $245 is what Masters has been able to negotiate to have a great rate for them to be able to go capture that media. And that is regardless of floor plan size, so that the photographer will go out there within 24 hours is their timeline. So once you schedule it, they go out in 24 hours and capture the media for you. And this is going to be your most seamless, easy button experience for capturing that Zillow Showcase media because they already know exactly what's necessary. There's no photo limit, so they can take as many photos as you need. And then they can come back and upload that and help just really alleviate any of the stress of the process and getting that media uploaded. These are currently the areas that we do offer ZMX in. We're expanding as the need is there, and so we're consistently expanding with that. Obviously, in the California region where you guys are, we do offer that ZMX experience. So just something to think about if you're not beholden to a specific photographer that you know and love. ZMX is a really, really great way for you guys to be able to just capture the media, seamlessly get it uploaded, and be off to the races with your showcase experience. So a little bit about the pricing here. The way that Showcase is tiered out, if you were to go out and buy this on your own without the master's deal here, is in California, you'd be looking about $600 to $750 per credit that you would use per listing in order to showcase a home. So for you guys, it's going to be $200 per listing, which is a really smoking deal to be able to showcase your media. And so that's a really great job that Keith and Robert have done to negotiate and get that deal for you guys. So a huge benefit add. So with that and the cost of media for you guys, in order to showcase a listing, it's just going to be that $445 plus any add-ons. We do offer like I said, the aerial tour with ZMX and virtual staging and such. So there are some add-ons that you can add on there, but your base price in order to showcase a listing is going to be the $200 credit. And then the cost of ZMX specifically, if you have your own photographer, that's going to be a different cost associated with whatever you guys work out with them. But with ZMX, it's $245 for the essentials package in order to showcase that listing. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about is, all right, what I've taken you through is a brand new listing. You've closed that listing agreement and you wanted to get it up and going. If you already have a home that is live on the MLS and live on Zillow, you want to flip that over to a showcase listing. We call it flipping the listing. You can do that. The caveat is you must have the correct media. So if you don't have that correct media, you are going to have to go out and capture that media in order to flip it to a showcase listing. It's a process that you can absolutely do. It's very easy once you have that media captured. That's a lot of the time where the biggest hiccup comes is, well, I don't want to go back out and reshoot media, or will this media work, or will this media that I already have works? Your photos will work, but you have to make sure that you have the correct 3D tour in order to go out and do that.
Can I ask a quick question, Nate?
Yes.
If I have the Zillow 3D tour all the time, so is it easy for us just to flip it to a Zillow showcase with the old listing?
Yes, with the old listing, if you already have the correct media that is necessary in order, then yes, it's not very difficult at all. You'll just invite your photographer. You'll go into the invite photographer and they will get the link. They'll set up their profile and they must upload it through Aerial Light. And then once they have that media uploaded to the Aerial Light, it'll syndicate across to Zillow. There's a button that you have to go in and click that brings the media to Showcase. And then it will bring the media into Showcase and allow you to showcase that listing.
So we have to, have the showcase start and then the photographer can load. Is it what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because once you say, yes, I want to showcase that listing, you pay for the credit. That's
Oh.
when you'll order the media. And in that section is where you'll be able to send the invite link to the photographer for that
Oh,
listing. And so they'll get the invite link and then they will be able to upload the media from there. Now, I understand that a lot of the time the photographer sends you guys the media after they capture it, you upload it to the MLS and you kind of go through all of that. The way that the photography rights work, the photographer has to be the one that goes in and uploads it to Aereo to basically, because they have some boxes that they check that says, yes, Zillow can use these photos in order to showcase it. So it's a rights and legal thing that is the reason why they must do it. So just understand and have that conversation with your photographers so that they understand that they're the bottleneck on that and they need to be the ones that go in and upload that.
okay, understand. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So one of the reasons why you would flip a listing is out of many, but one of the great ways to do it is say you have a listing that's maybe running a little stagnant, it's been on the market for a little while. This is a really great way to show your seller that you're doing everything possible, one, to move their listing, and two, it just breathes new life into it because you get all the same benefits of showcase. And so it starts getting prominently featured. You're going to start getting more buyer interactions with it on Zillow, and it will lead to more page views, saves, shares, and ultimately leading to that listing moving. One thing that Robert has said in the past, and I always like to emphasize as well, we all know as agents, price first and foremost is what moves a home. If a home is overpriced, it's not going to matter. You'll get all the views, saves, and shares, but at the end of the day, if the home is overpriced, that showcase is not going to fix that issue. So you just need to understand that this is an enhancement and it's not a magic button. If it's competitively priced, you'll get all these benefits and then you'll see a lot more action on that listing and ideally it moves how you want it to. So when you are flipping a listing, you are having that conversation with your sellers. Just make sure that you understand that that pricing conversation probably still needs to take place with them and then showing them how Showcase is going to benefit them and how it's going to breathe new life into it, bring more buyers into the home and move the listing. All right. Do you have any more questions about photographers and media before I get into the details on how you're going to go through all of that?
I think I answered most of the photography stuff. I just want to just clarify because this came up a lot on Tuesday. The 245, if you it's $200 for the Zillow Showcase tool. The 245 covers high resolution photos, there's no limit on it, as many high resolution photos as you and the photographer feel is good for the listing. The 3D tour and the virtual tour. That's what the 245 covers. So if you have your own photographer and you want to use them, you can do that. You only then have to pay the $200 for the Zillow Showcase. The 245 is just, hey, look, it's a great deal to use this photographer and get it for 245. So, they're two separate things in terms of how you want to do that. If you're going to use your own photographer, you just have to make sure they're using high resolution photos, which if they're a professional, they should be, and they're doing the 3D tour and the virtual tour. Okay. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. You can still use your photographer if you want, uh, and then just pay the Zillow Showcase separately, or you can package it all in one. So up to you.
Question is $200 is that the starting price per property?
Yeah, it's per listing, $200 per listing to get it on Zillow Showcase and get all the promotions that Nate mentioned earlier in terms of getting it emailed out to buyers, getting your name as the contact agent, getting it better broadcast along Zillow. That is the part that's $200 and it's per listing. There's no maximum or minimum. So you can use it on every single listing you do. You can pick and choose. It's up to you. That's the $200. The rest that will get you on Zillow Showcase. It's all you have to spend is $200. The 245 he mentioned was just if you want to use the Zillow media package for the photos, the virtual tour, and the 3D tour.
How much
But
do they pay, Robert?
it's $200. So normally in our price point, it would be about $750 to do Zillow Showcase. You're getting it for $200 because you're with Masters.
So it's not matters how many listings, it's every
No, you can use it. We agreed to 1,000 listings on Zillow Showcase for $200.
Okay.
So I would love it if we used it next month. Okay. That is a dream I have that will never come true, but that's the dream I have. So you can use it on every single one of your listings if you want. We've got 1,000 credits. And I promise you, if we run out, we'll go get more. But yeah, use as many as you want. So I'm going to turn it back over to Nate, though, because he's still got more to cover, and probably some of the answers will be in his presentation, and then we'll go back to some of these questions at the end.
Okay, when does it start? Just last question.
November 17th.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great. Thanks for the clarification on some of those things, Robert. And I did want to hammer home as well, when you are using your own photographer, just make sure that they understand the necessary components and equipment that they need in order to go out and capture it. I'll say that a million times. It's important, and it's once you have that conversation with them, it will make this process very smooth and seamless. This is supposed to be an enhancement and make your listings better, make your listings sell for more and faster. Just make sure that you have these conversations up front with your photographer and your preferred photographer to make sure that they know how to capture the media and what equipment is necessary in order to do so.
I'm sorry, I have a question. Just to be clear, is $200 whether it's a mobile home or a 7,000 square foot estate?
Correct.
Okay.
The showcase credit is $200 per listing.
And also, you're saying about using your own photographer or using a Zillow photographer?
Yeah, so Zillow that's what the Zillow media experts are. The ZMX is what we like to call them. They are professional photographers that are W-2 employees of Zillow, that their entire job is to go out and capture showcase listings for Zillow. So they're professional photographers that know the showcase experience inside and out. They have the necessary equipment. They're your easy button.
And they have these Zillow professionals, photographers in all the areas, in all our areas, I guess.
In your areas, yeah. And you'll see when you click on this order showcasing media, you'll get this question here, and I'll walk into your question there. You'll get this question here. If you already have all the necessary media required, you'll click no, I have that media, and it'll take you to a different screen that'll allow you to invite your photographer to upload the media to Aereo to then be able to sync to Zillow. For this example, we're going to say it's a new listing. Yes, I need to order the media. So you click that there. And what you'll see here is if you have Zillow media experts in your area, which most of you guys should in the California area, then you'll have this option. If ZMX is not available in the area of your listing, this option won't even be there. So depending on the way that you want to capture the media, these are going to be your options. Zillow media experts, we've already talked to. Zillow Showcase Select are contracted photographers that pay to be prominently featured on Zillow. So if you don't have a preferred photographer and ZMX is not offered in your area, you can book with them. They already have all the necessary equipment. They understand the requirements necessary to go out and capture that media. And so you can book what we call them Showcase Select photographer as well. And then if you do have your own photographer, this is where you'll invite them. You'll click on that, enter their information, they'll get sent the invite link to set up their profile and then get the task of capturing the media for that listing.
And to hire their Zillow photographer, it's $45 more added to the 200, correct?
It's $245
I think that's a deal.
Asking the dumbest questions.
$200 for the credit itself. Standalone credit, $200. If you want to order Zillow Media Experts, that is $245 for that photography cost. Photography already costs money. So
exactly. So this is
it's $245 for photography.
Yeah, that's actually a great
$200 for that. Yeah, so it's a good. If depending on your photographer, it is a pretty good deal to be able to capture photos for $245.
I agree. I think it is a great deal.
Yeah. Okay, so when you click your option of which photographer you're going to use, this is where you'll be prompted to add in the details of that property. You'll add that in. You'll select if there's any add-ons that you want. You'll select the different add-ons, and it'll have a whole host. These are not all of them. It'll have a whole host of different add-ons that you can add on to it. You'll click the add-on, and those are all the prices of those add-ons. Obviously, will be annotated with them when you click that on there. And then you'll be able to schedule it directly from the showcase site as well. So you already have worked out with your seller the the media, or the date and time that you want to go out and capture that media, you'll be able to immediately send that and schedule it with a photographer on Showcase there too. So once you have captured your media, you'll come into your Zillow workspace. Once the photographer has uploaded that media, this is what we like to refer to as your pizza tracker. So this is pretty much where the Showcase listing is in the Showcase process. So this is the first step. Once you've ordered Showcase, then you've gone in and clicked media ordered, and it'll update to there and show that the media has been ordered. Once the photographer has gone out and captured the media and uploaded it to Ario, then it'll show that the media has been delivered. And then once it has processed, it generally takes about 48 to 72 hours for that media to process. Don't quote me on it. That's just our average. Then you'll see that we're in the Showcase created. So now the listing is ready to be showcased. When you set it to go live on the MLS, it will syndicate across. And the first experience that the consumer has with the listing on Zillow will be a showcased listing. So you'll get to this. This will be your overview. When you come into the workspace, you click on the listing inside of the workspace. You want to see where that listing is at. You'll have the overview here that will show that. Now, once you have all the media uploaded, this is when you're going to be able to come in and edit the exact experience that you want to have with that Showcase listing. So you'll be able to edit your carousel photos, and you'll be able to edit the featured rooms. You'll be able to move the photos around how you want it to be. So this is really the place that you can come in and customize the media once the media has been uploaded to Showcase. And it's in the editor tab here if you missed it there. Once you've edited your media, you'll be able to review your branding, make sure that your profile, your agent profile, the way that you want to be seen across all of Zillow is set, and you can go back and adjust it if you would like to make sure that you are being presented and that your brand is being presented the way that you want it to be across Zillow Showcase as you showcase that listing. Like I said before, you'll be able to rearrange the featured rooms. You'll be able to edit the photos that are inside of the featured rooms, bring photos in, take photos out, you'll be able to add more featured rooms if there's different rooms that you really want to highlight, and make sure that you can customize that consumer experience as they move through the listing and scroll down on it all. So some of the best practices that we have for Showcase activation is edit your Showcase listing before you go live on the MLS. That's going to be your easiest thing to do. You can do it. You can come in and edit photos after it's live on the MLS. The best practice is just to have it set and ready to rock when you prior to going live on the MLS. Download your media, and then you'll upload it to the MLS. So the photographer will upload it to Ario Lite. That way they don't have to send you 2 packages. They can upload it to Ario. And then once it's syndicated on Showcase, you'll be able to download all that media and then upload it to the MLS. Paste your MLS floor plan URL into the MLS. And then when you're ready to go live, make your listing active on the MLS. It'll syndicate as all your other listings have done in the past. And the first experience they have with the listing will be the Showcase listing on Zillow. Now, another great thing that Zillow does, like I said, we love our data. You can go in and pull the individual performance report of that specific listing. This is really, really great way for you to get a feel for how your listing is performing in the market, and an even better way for you to be able to maintain contact with your seller and show them exactly how their listing is performing as compared to other similar listings in their market. I love it because it's just, we all look for touch points that we can have with our sellers. And this is a really, really easy way to keep them engaged, to help them understand what's happening with their home and put a lot of their nerves at ease as well, because they can really see the performance that they're getting out of the listing on Zillow and on the market. Now, one of the great things that you guys get with the enterprise package here that Masters has for you is Zillow Showcase VIP support. And this is specific Showcase support. So any issues that you guys are having with your Showcase listing and getting it live, or once it is live, if you have any issues with it, these are dedicated personnel inside of Zillow that their whole job is to help with Showcase and make sure that you get all of your issues mitigated as quickly as possible. So you'll be able to reach out to them. These are the hours that they work. That's the phone number and their contact info. I've already given all of this to Dylan, and it will be living on you guys' Century 21 website. So if you do have any issues, you have VIP support to be able to go and fix any of those things. Or if you're just struggling and getting it from one stage to the next, you're a little bit confused with that, you can get on with support and they will be able to walk you through and make sure that you can get set up and live. Also, I mentioned it before, but if you do have your photographers, we do have photographer support as well. So if the photographer is having any issue with their media or media process, they can reach out to the photographer support and get any of those issues handled as well.
I have a quick question.
Yep, go right ahead.
How long is this promotion going on for if you do apply?
So I'll answer. I can answer that. So there's no technical end date. We agreed to 1,000 listings on Zillow Showcase for the $200. So we have up to 1,000. If we pass 1,000, I'm sure we can talk to Zillow about getting more. But right now we have 1,000 listings to use.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So just some basic frequently asked questions that we get. Can I use Showcase on rental, commercial lots, land listings? The answer is no. It has to be a for sale residential home that is on the MLS. Residential home on the MLS. Can't be an off-market pocket listing type thing. It needs to be on the MLS, and it cannot be commercial rental or lot of land.
One more question, may I ask?
Yep, go ahead.
You said, as Robert is saying, like their agreement is for thousands listings. So when you guys reach 1,000, then the offer is no longer there, or?
Well, Zillow Showcase will always be there. We've agreed to $200 for 1,000 listings.
Okay, so
after we get to 1,000, we'll go to Zillow and see if we can get more. They've been very gracious with us. So I'm sure we can, but right now we have 1,000, so we've got plenty. So don't worry about that yet.
Is there a time limit?
We have 1,000 for a year. So essentially by the end of 2026. If we don't use 1,000, that's what I was mentioning earlier, is that if we don't use 1,000 by the end of 2026, then we just pay the difference as a company of those listings. But yeah, so we have almost all of 2026 to use 1,000, and this starts November 17th.
Yes, mobile homes included.
Plenty of time.
I had a quick question on that Showcase. You'd mentioned 3 rooms is the minimum for that 3D tour or for the Showcase. So that makes sense why it wouldn't work for land. But so if I had a 2-bedroom condo in Murrieta that I can't do a Showcase on that, or is it rooms where I have to have a living room, a bedroom, and a bathroom, and that meets the criteria?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Jumping back in here, if you are being prompted to create your own workspace, don't do that. It means you're using the wrong email. Reach out to the brokerage, make sure that you're using the correct email that they have on file. They sent to me on the roster, that in order to log into the Century 21 Masters workspace where you'll be able to purchase your credits for. So that just best practice, this is a red flag for you. That should send your spidey senses tingling if you're being prompted to create your own workspace. Now, another question we always get is, can I use Matterport or Drone 3D Tour? No, you cannot. Zillow requires the Zillow specific 3D home tour, interactive floor plan, and virtual tour. This is going to be, as I already talked to you guys through your pizza tracker. When you guys are wondering where you're at with Showcase or why it hasn't why it hasn't finished the process yet, this is going to be your first place you go to. You're going to go into the workspace, you're going to click on the listing, and you're going to look at where it's at in the process of getting Showcase, because this is going to allow you to understand who you need to reach out to in order to continue to move that listing along in the showcasing process. If it's held up in media, that means you know that you need to reach out to the photographer and see where they're at with getting that media uploaded. So it's just a really great spot for you guys to start to understand where the listing is at in the showcase process.
Now, is tomorrow presentation is the same as of today?
Tomorrow will be question and answer, just a full Q&A session. So the photographer, like I've already talked about a couple of times, we have specific photography support, and there's a lot of resources on the Zillow Showcase photographer page in order for them to understand what is necessary, how to get trained and set up for Zillow Showcase Media, and any FAQs that they might need answered, those will live on there as well. One thing that I do really want to highlight here is how our changes on the MLS, how do they affect Showcase? If you go in and edit the information on the MLS, that will automatically sync across to Zillow Showcase. If you edit photos and media on the MLS, you must come back into Showcase and do those same edits in Showcase. That will not be pulled. So you need to make sure that if you do a change of media or something like that on the MLS, you also reflect that change by going into Showcase and editing it in Showcase as well. But information, if you update the information on the home, that will automatically be pulled across. Another thing, just that I already hit on this a little bit earlier, your Zillow profile and your Zillow Showcase profile are two different things, which means that they have two different methods of support. If you need help with your Zillow profile, this is where you're going to go, partnersupport@zillowgroup.com. If you start asking them about your Showcase profile, they're not going to know anything about that. If you have Showcase profile or anything to do with Showcase issues, you'll go to Showcase support. So just really half the battle is just knowing who to talk to in order to solve your problem. If you have Zillow profile issues, you're going to go to this support. If you have Showcase issues, you're going to go to Showcase support. So we got a question earlier about a bunch of resources and links. I've already given all of these links to Dylan. They'll live on your Century 21 Masters page, but this is a really great, robust list. And there's more on there as well of just how to get showcased, different best practices for Showcase, your photography support as well. One thing before I close out with you guys here and open it up for questions. As we come into the end of the season here, Showcase is a really great way for you to start priming your pipeline for 2026. If you have listings that are maybe a little bit stagnant, or if it's starting to get a little bit slow for you guys, this is a really great way to move those listings in the slow season and to breathe new life into that, and also to get your brand and your name and your image in front of hundreds, if not thousands more buyers just simply by having your listing showcased. So Robert was saying, I would love to see Showcase listings coming on in the next month. If you want to think about your 2026 pipeline, this is a really great way to start priming that pipeline. Not only will it help you move listings and current listings and listings that you're coming onto the market soon, it will also help you start priming that pipeline to have a very successful 2026 too. And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
So I want to just, first of all, Nate, thank you. Sarah, thank you for jumping on and helping out with the chat as well. I just want to make sure to reiterate something, because when we announced this at the Connect, we got all kinds of requests instantly of, I've got a listing that's not selling. Can I get it on Showcase now? Okay. And Nate hit this, but I want to make sure that we're all clear on this, because I don't want to set you up to fail. This is not going to save a listing that is overpriced and magically get people to do that. So if you have a listing that's not selling and you know it's because of price, and you know when it's because of price, okay, I don't want you to have the mentality like, well, let's get this on there, right? This is a tool that, however, can be used as a price reduction strategy, right? Because when you do Zillow Showcase from the beginning, it shows how many views you've got and how many saves, how many clicks, which you can then, just like Golden Ruler, you can show to a client to show that the marketing is working. But you could also use this, say, hey, look, if you want to flip the listing, you know it's because of price. Say, look, I think we have an opportunity here to sell it. I want to put it on Zillow Showcase. I'm going to put some money into this. We're going to get it promoted. What I need from you is to drop the price a little bit, and we'll get even more exposure. So you can use it as a price reduction conversation, right? In terms of that. But because I have already been asked about this, I don't know, 10 or 12 times. And I know a couple of you have even reached out to Nate already. It's not going to solve that problem for the listing that's overpriced. Okay. Like, that's why I said at the very beginning, I want you to first look at this as a way to get more listings. Okay. That's number one. And then you also potentially get some leads with all the exposure on it, but just don't do that to yourself. All right. If you're going to do that, just give us the money. We'll go have dinner. So there you go. Look it's 1:15. We answered a lot of questions. Tomorrow at 12:15, we're going to do just a straight Q&A. Okay, so we're not going to do this presentation again. It's just straight Q&A. So if you didn't get your question answered today, you can either send it to me directly, email me, text me, whatever. I might know the answer. If I don't, I can get it to Nate or Sarah. And then at 12:15 tomorrow, the same Zoom link is just straight Q&A. So you can always come back and just say, hey, here's a question that didn't get answered, so and so forth. So because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and it's already 12:15 or 1:15. So I appreciate Nate. Great job, buddy. You nailed it. Sarah, thank you again for all of your help. And I really appreciate this. This is an amazing tool. I can't wait for our agents to get started November 17th. So, all the questions in the chat box, great questions. Absolutely love it. Keep asking more and more questions. And again, if you didn't get it answered, send it to me. I'm more than happy to see if I can answer it, or show up tomorrow at 12:15 for just our open Q&A, and we'll get all this answered for you and get you all set up. All right. All right, Nate, Sarah, thank you. Everyone else, thank you for being on here. Greatly appreciate it, and excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great meeting
Thank
all of
you,
you guys.
Robert.
You're welcome. And I'm going to hit